All right, we're live. RT Live Talk, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. Wanted to check in and kind of open up a little bit and to check in and see what's going on in your world. And so I had a chance of doing a little RTD Instagram stream earlier, and I was going to connect and talk about some bad news, but I'm like, wow, I'm tired of talking about bad news. Let's talk about some good news. So I'm excited to bring on a fellow Detroit native to help kick this live stream off with me. And so here I have Mr. Cryptoblood. How you doing, my friend?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Good to see you.
I didn't know we were out. You were inserting me right in the middle of the live stream. That's all good with me.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to just reach out and kick it tonight, man, and just check in with you because you're a fellow Detroit native, man, and the state of Michigan Governor Whitmer is just acting a fool out here. So I wanted to get your thoughts on what's going on, have you check in, and then I kind of open up to anybody to kind of call in and give us their 2 cents as to what's happening in their world, because I'm kind of tired of talking about bad news all the time. And so there's a lot of good news out there as well. So I want to get your thoughts to see what's happening in your world, man. And
well, bad news sells, man, especially on the internet. You look at all the people who have all those doom and gloom titles and stuff. They always get a lot of clicks, don't they? It sells, man. It's an innate thing in humans that we just gravitate to bad news for some reason. But
yeah, it's one of those things where is it like more informative, you think? Like, is it like, do you like have that sense of like, I want to know what's going on, and so let me click on that because it can affect me type of thing? Or is it just
fear for whatever reason? Fear just we gravitate toward that.
Yeah.
Because I think, it's kind of I don't know, some people believe in evolution or whatever you believe in, right?
Yeah.
Whether God did it or whatever, it's in us to have that fear, because when we were thousands and thousands of years ago, we had to use fear to survive. Now, to me, fear, you have fear and you don't do anything, it's detrimental to you, right? You're supposed to have fear, but act on that fear and do something positive, right?
Yeah.
To move forward and survive in this world. So I just think it's that thing in us. We just gravitate toward that fear, man. It's weird.
Yeah, I would agree. And so I was actually yesterday. And so for those that's just tuning in, got Mr. Cryptoblood here, fellow Detroit native. And so I wanted to connect with a fellow Detroit native just because it's so much going on in our state, and nevertheless, all the other things going on. Mm-hmm. So I want to get your thoughts on the Bitcoin situation, all types of things. We'll cover everything we can tonight. And as always, I want to open the phone lines up. So feel free to give us a call, and we'll love to hear your thoughts. But I was downtown yesterday. I went to the Riverwalk, and it was a lot of people out there, man. Like, I was surprised that for this state to be in a so-called shutdown, lockdown period, there's a lot of people outside enjoying themselves, man. The weather was good. Have you been out much and able to kick it, or what you been up to?
I've been out outside to smoke a cigar here and there, but outside I haven't been really going anywhere other than the grocery store and the house, just back and forth. I've visited my mom a couple of times because my dad was back home from the hospital. He was in hospital for 3 weeks and 2 days from COVID.
Really?
So we were out there visiting him. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of not doing too much. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Biggest thing is that's the thing. Like, it's not much to do. I know I was riding up and down 75, and I noticed a lot more 5G towers, like never before. And those are things I would definitely have noticed prior to us being locked down. And so construction workers are still doing their thing, but yet those towers are popping up everywhere, man. And I'm not sure, what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I'm not with the 5G virus thing at all. I have my wife is a pathologist. She works in pathology, so we more scientific than tinfoil hat with that one. The virus is. So this is how I myth bust that whole theory.
Yeah.
When did 5G towers start being put up? It wasn't November of last year. They've been around for a couple of years now. So why would the virus? If it was caused from 5G, you would have seen this virus spreading because of 5G years ago.
Yeah. Now, how about just the fact that 5G has not been thoroughly tested as something that's relatively safe as far as all the frequencies and all the unknowns of it. So never mind the actual virus situation, but just the fact they're forcing this upon us. Me personally, I don't really need much faster service apart from where they want to take us with this. But
yeah, no. So the dangers of 5G is geopolitical. That's where people are conflating. You know, this theory is tinfoil to me. Tinfoil hat theory of 5G and the real threat of 5G, which is China and Huawei and them, you know, implementing 5G all across the Belt and Road through their Belt and Road initiative to really hijack, you know, these countries' security infrastructure. So that's where the danger in 5G was. They did the same thing with 3G. They said, "Oh, 3G was this and this and that." Listen, in my opinion, you know, and I'm open to people's thoughts. I love a dialogue where we can have a conversation. My thing is, man, so if the powers that be were to roll out 5G, and this is a type of infrastructure where it's just a broad, you know, you're just sending the signal out. How do the powers that be protect themselves? Do they have some special pill they take, or you know, that would be my question. You know, I think it's an easier way for them to kill us if they were trying to do population control.
Well, I would imagine, you know, those of high net worth individuals that are part of the establishment type of thing, they're not in cities. They're not in areas where they have close proximity to that infrastructure in of itself. Because, you know, we say a lot of people got islands and bunkers, all types of crazy stuff out there. But it's just the fact that they are so adamant on rolling it out without any type of, you know, let's pause, take this research this, give us some studies.
It's been a lot of studies on 5G is just a certain frequency. We call it fifth generation wireless. So it's just different frequencies, and the frequency that is used on the towers is actually less. So your routers in your home uses a higher or different frequency that would theoretically be more
dangerous,
advantageous to your health. If that was even, it's not even that. It's so weak as far as the signal, it doesn't do anything, man.
Hey, fair enough,
I'm not with the 5G thing. I'm not. It seems like you are, Mike.
I'm open to whatever, just because it's one of them things where if we don't have much choice in how it's rolled out, but yet it's told us being something that will make our lives more convenient, faster, we can connect everything. I question it. That's all. So
I got you.
I just rather question everything than accept it upon their government provided and special interest backed surveys and case studies and stuff like that. So, but I'm just open to question everything before I officially use it myself.
As you should be. I agree with that. Like I said, it's dangerous, but it's it's the Chinese trying to take all the CCP trying to take all of our private information and stuff. That's the danger in 5G for me.
Let's take a call real quick and see what's some thoughts out there. Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Miles from NY.
Miles from NY. What's in your mind, my friend? Give me some good news from New York.
Ain't much good news out here, man. The governor's fighting with the president's starving the people. I mean, you know how it go, man. It's a political show out here. It's all about act. You know, they can care less. They never did care about, especially New York. But I did have a question for Mr. Cryptoblood. With the new legislation that they put now, I believe it's about 32 or 33 of them. How do you see that affecting the crypto space? You know, because I don't see them putting that out as a positive thing for crypto, but more something to suppress it, tax it, eliminate it. And also, on a macro level, you see all of these countries coming up with their own type of crypto. How do you see these cryptos that have been out for already for a while, or somewhat slower, or have their different little aspects to it? How do you see them fitting in with these world governments? Like, do you really think these governments are going to allow, another type of currency to come through when they could finally broke free from the U.S. dollar, or are breaking free and are establishing with gold and, their own thing? So I'm just looking at that as one of the things that I think, may play a difference in the future going forward, and how do you navigate through those days?
All right. Sounds good.
You're doing a great job. Let me tell you that. And also, Mike, I meant to ask you, what's going on with Flint, how the whites doing with their water, man?
Horrible, still horrible.
Yeah, nothing was done. Nothing was done since it was announced, and it's one of the things where where's the funding gonna come from? I mean, Michigan's tapped out. The federal government can't really come in because every other city gonna require do the same type of funding. So it's something you sweep under the rug and you just try to ignore it from a political standpoint, especially as we enter into this presidential season. So that's where it is as of now.
Man, that's a shame.
We can print trillions of dollars out of thin air, though.
All right, man.
We can't do that.
All right, my friend. I'll have Mr. Cryptoblood answer that for you. Appreciate the call. What's your thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, I mean, those are good questions. The regulations that are rolling out, I didn't know there was that many. He knows more than I do on that subject, but it's going to put a damp on the innovation of cryptocurrencies, and I think it's going to drive the cost up, for people to use it over time. If you have all these exchanges, they have to have 10,000 different lines of red tape they have to go through to be a crypto exchange, then that's going to be passed on in some form or fashion to the individual at some point. So, that is a concern. And I think another thing he brought up about, these governments rolling out their own cryptos, that's going to be a threat to crypto as well. I should say a threat to crypto adoption. The ones who are in it know why they're in it, and that's not going to change them. And it's only going to make the value of crypto go higher. But my concern is for the people who don't know about crypto yet. Yeah. So we need to get those individuals in there. And so when you see a government roll out their own crypto, it's a distraction. It's a distraction from the real new asset class that can bring them, protect their wealth or even grow it exponentially. So yeah, they're going to roll it out. I can see something like new Fed coin rolling out. Download your app here at whatever.gov. You know how they do. And when you download it, you'll get $500 free, something crazy. That's gonna come on, man. Pookie and Ray gonna jump on that right away.
And so I believe it's a part of this Boost Act. And so, as I mentioned the other day, I did a video about how this current environment now is a test run because they're overstimulating those that are unemployed. And I believe it's a part of a little test trial that they're running to kind of see what are some things they can pull from it. The pros, they're going to try to pull more pros than cons from this experiment. And so the current unemployment rose basically until the end of this year, right along the same time that in January, they want to have that Boost Act up and running and hopefully pass and ready to submit, as if they want this whole pandemic situation to be prolonged long enough so they can roll out something in the form of that new digital payment system, which is going to come through whatever mechanism. Now, let me ask you a question. The Treasury and the Fed,
yes.
What's your thoughts? Are they working together? They plotting together? People say
pretty much married. Yeah, they're married. They're joined at the hip now.
Yeah.
It's unprecedented times. So we have, but it's funny, man. It's just funny being online. I know you experience this too. It's just so funny how the human imagination, how we can take things and change it in a way to fit how we want to feel, make us feel good inside. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty, for the most part, I'm a Trump supporter. Mm-hmm. For the most part, he's messed up a lot in this pandemic thing. He's done some things well. He's done some things not so well.
Yeah.
But it's funny seeing people try to justify in some, I guess, the Q group. They think that Trump is planning to merge the Treasury with the Fed to eliminate the Fed. And he's not trying to eliminate the Fed, people. It's not. It's called modern monetary theory, and that's what we're heading toward. They're going to print money until inflation hits, and that's when they'll try to extract it from the system. But it's going to end all badly. It's going to end all badly.
Yeah, I had somebody called in the other night and who mentioned that they work for a bank and that their bank is ramping up the amount of servers they have. I don't know what was this, because he said it's across the street from a bank that does something with cash. So I'm thinking like, is this like Chicago, like the Federal Reserve, or Chicago? So I don't know. Again, it couldn't get no details, but the fact that banks are ramping up their servers lets me know that there's some type of digital something or another being announced. Now, my question was, will it be like the JP Morgan coin? Will they try to utilize a stable coin concept, therefore banning all stable coins that have been spun out from Tether and USDC and all that other stuff, getting rid of those and just solely, using a stable coin concept as a national currency? What do you think about that?
Yeah, man, there's so many ways it could go, because stablecoin. I don't know if your audience is up on the stablecoin game, but you are earning, man. Forget a CD. The interest you earn on. I put a lot of my money in stablecoins on various DeFi platforms because I'm earning 4 or 5% on my money.
Yeah.
You can't get that. Big, but the problem is, as you stated, Mike, I think there is a risk at some point when they roll out their own coin that they're going to make some type of legislation, some type of act to either do something. I think they're going to attack stable coins because they're really, it's almost like a pseudo banking system that's going on now with these stable coins, Yeah. So I think something may happen, and that is a risk that you may see down the line with stable coins. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. So as always, man, I'm excited to have Cryptoblood join us. And so I want to hear from you guys. So feel free to give us a call and let us know what's on your mind. And so as states open up, or reopen rather, I was real concerned with the new regulation that's going to come on top of that, as far as them wanting to maintain that 6 feet distance. And so how will that look like in a restaurant if you can't, each of you got to wear a mask, in a movie theater, 6 feet? And so is there any way of really reopening, especially here in Michigan? We had a small window before the season changes. We got June, July, August, September, October. That's 4 or 5 months before it gets cold, and people are really going to be forced to stay inside and look to utilize all those entertainment venues where there might be some distance still. So how would that work in your opinion, man?
It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. I'm just going to be honest with you, because we need to. I personally, I know a lot of people don't feel this way, but I don't know if you can share my screen.
Yep, go ahead and do it.
Let me do it this way. I don't know how I can do it. I can do it this way. Actually, you can just leave your screen up. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me get back to here. So the this trend, this is from the Detroit Free Press.
Yeah.
As you can see, and the cases are falling. Now they're not falling magically. They're falling because we're on lockdown. Yeah. This is not happening because it just is. No, it's happening because we shut, so-called staying, whatever it's called. I don't know. National state emergency, whatever, stay in place, whatever. So we did that, and it's starting to come down. We're flattening the curve. The issue is we're also we're doing a lot of damage to the economy. Where do we strike that balance? I have no clue, man. I don't know, but this lockdown is having a positive effect on the virus. As you can see, the cases are just coming down, But at some point we're going to have to open back up, and when we do, it is going to kill us, man. It's going to flare right back up, in my opinion.
So is it one of those things? So okay, I never minimize human life, but yet when we're dealing with what I would consider a complete monetary, this is a global event here. So it's not like it's just one thing here, but apparently Sweden did nothing of the sort. They didn't lock down. They let whatever occur. And apparently, from what we're told, it's okay over there for the most part.
They added 1,000 and something. I think 1,400 new cases or deaths or something in 2 weeks. I've been keeping track of it.
Yeah.
No, they're not doing well. They're the worst in the area. If you compare them to Denmark, all the Scandinavian countries, no, they're not. They're doing horrible.
Now, okay, so once again, the fudging of the numbers also, factor in, I would imagine, for 30 days or so, from what I heard, I for sure haven't dived into it as well as you have, but from 30 days of us being locked down over here to us hearing from mainstream news, Sweden existed, everything is good. Then I guess you said last week or two, they got 1,000 cases. So is there any chance the mainstream media decide to make sure that they include all countries for the sake of not having one country choose to opt out and so-called make it, or
that to me that's arguing a counterfactual. I need evidence of that. I can't argue something that I don't know, an unknown. You get what I'm saying? In my opinion. So I mean, they're reporting the cases, so I would think if anything, they would report less cases because they want to show that this is what they're doing is working, in my opinion. So I don't know, man. It's not a good look. All you have to do, man, to be honest with you, is look at all of the Asian countries that did it right. You know, they're used to wearing masks. That's one way we could really, you know, get this curve down. We got to wear masks, you know, social distancing, locking, you know, keeping people off the streets and stuff. I know it sounds draconian, and it is, but you sometimes got to take those steps to try to bring this thing, you know, down a little bit.
Now, so watch this. So from the sound of it, this situation is extremely severe based upon your experiences with it. And on my end, it's not, it hasn't been, I haven't, well, okay, so I won't take it there. But as far as what's at stake from our global monetary system, the economy itself, it's one of those things where I'll never minimize human life. But again, something's going to die. Something's going to end, whether it be the economy the way we've known it, and then we're going to be ushered into something we may not necessarily enjoy, or we allow this thing to run its course and let, you know, some people say let, you know, natural immunity come about. And so there's all types of doctors out there saying that how do you stop virus? You have to let it, you know, let our bodies, whatever. What are your thoughts on that?
To a certain extent, yeah. But you got to understand, even at how many cases do we have now? 1.5 million cases here. I think it's probably 3, 4, maybe even 10 times more cases than that are being reported. Now we're seeing that cases were here in the United States back in December. Right. So I think there are a lot more cases. So that death rate is going to come down. I don't think the death rate is a true reflection of what it is. But even if you bring it down to right now, I think it's like 5.5% death rate in the United States. But even if you bring it down to 1% to get to herd immunity, I think with this virus, you need 6% of the population to have contracted it.
Yeah.
So that's still millions of people who are going to die, tens of millions of people who are going to die from this in a short period of time. That's another thing. People aren't appreciating the breadth and the quickness that we've gotten to 75,000 deaths in 5 months. You know, at first people were saying, and I've been tracking this, you know, Mike, I've been tracking this since January.
Yeah.
First the narrative was, the flu has killed more people. And this, it hasn't even killed anyone really yet. So now when it eclipsed the flu, now they flip their theory to, the numbers are fake. Yeah. So if you have to change your argument to fit your narrative, then you need to maybe look at your argument, and maybe it's not as strong as you think it is.
Yeah, understandable. So with that being the case, you know, what we were told initially is that, you know, we'll need 18 months before that vaccine is here. And so once again, there's, you know, 100 and some countries out there that's all vying for that funding to bring up vaccine, which won't cure it, but it'll further their agenda overall. And so between now and then, what are our odds? Like, you know, do we reopen up, let the thing run its course, or do we just stick to the script, stay locked down, let the economy crumble, they issue all this other stuff, and you know, so it's one of the things where something's going to give. It's just a matter of what do we choose as a people.
I feel you. I mean, like I said, we got case studies now. You know, Georgia's opening up, Florida's opening up. They just had the biggest death rate spike. I think a couple of days ago, Florida did. And, you know, for all the people in the chat room saying that I don't know anything about the COVID, I actually had COVID. My whole family did. My wife did. She had a very severe case of it. And this thing it's not like a flu where 10 days max, you're out, whatever, you're back to work. No, this thing lingers on for weeks, 5-6 weeks, even longer in some cases that I've seen with people. So for me, it took me 3.5 weeks to bounce back. It took my wife 5.5 weeks to bounce back. It took her aunt 6 weeks to bounce back. My stepfather was in the hospital for 3 weeks and 2 days.
Yeah. So
now he didn't get on ventilator. He used the HCQ. That didn't work for him that well. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens with opening up, man. I saw our governor just extended another 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will.
It's really not a real lockdown, though, Mike.
I know it's the thing.
Americans are complaining that we're so weak. We're complaining about a lockdown. It ain't even real lockdown.
Yeah.
The whole time we were locked down, I could travel and go wherever I wanted to go. It was nothing, barely open.
Yeah.
But I could travel, go to the grocery store, go to my mom's house, go to wherever I wanted to go. I could have gone.
Yeah.
Anyone could have gone. So I mean, you can't please everybody. I please everybody, but I'm not taking that vaccine. That's for sure.
All right, we got a call here. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Adam from Toronto, Canada. How's it going?
I'm doing good, Adam from Toronto, Canada. Give us some good news out of Toronto.
But I was going over the news and everything. I know your friend over there had COVID and it's a real thing. But you can't dismiss the fact that everything is COVID. Even if you get a hit in a car crash, they write it down as COVID. If you get, you die of a heart attack, it's COVID. You put on a ventilator, whatever the situation, write down COVID. So all these numbers that they're saying, these people died, so many people died here, so many people died. How can you get an accurate number of stuff and debate stuff when all these stuff, they're everything is COVID, died of COVID. So, and then you think I believe Fauci? Like, you got to be out of your mind. This guy is associated with the WHO. He's associated with Gates Foundation. You got to be when you smell, when there's smoke, there's fire. So some of this stuff, what I'm saying, you can't just dismiss it and say, oh, nothing matters about this stuff. But, you just have to look at the stuff that, I know your friend's shaking his head, but you know what I'm saying? So when I smell smoke and when there's stuff, you just have to follow the money and follow who's involved in this stuff. Mm-hmm. And if your friend believes in all this stuff, why not get the vaccine? Like, when it comes out, just put it in your body. Like, I don't see the problem. You believe in everything else, might as well get the vaccine too. Like, I don't understand.
Because everything isn't black and everything isn't black and white. And that's the problem. Everything isn't black and white. Just because I know this virus is real and it kills people, and I know more than a handful of people who have died from this, doesn't mean I want to take a vaccine that they rush out, because I know typically it will take 5 years to, go through a proper trial and get a vaccine. Now, I'm not trusting that. I would not do that.
All right. Understandable. Caller, I appreciate you calling in, my friend. Thanks for your thoughts.
Thank you. Yeah, so he's right. Like, yeah, you can say that they're miscounting some of the deaths, but you can't say that you can't basically ignore the fact that excess deaths are up 10-fold, 15-fold, 10x, 15x since this virus has hit this shore. So what does excess death mean? That means just deaths. We're not counting COVID. We're talking about just deaths. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So if you take a look at excess deaths, it's up 10-fold. So it's not, okay, let's not talk about the COVID deaths. Let's just talk about deaths. They're up over 10-fold since that period. So what would a person's argument be on that case, Mike? That's what I would like to know. Because my wife, like, she's back to work, and she, like I said, she's in the pathology lab. She has to deal with dead people, morgues, and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So she goes down and does reports all the time. There's an overflow in the morgue. Mm-hmm. They have to have one of those big semi truck trailers outside the hospital. Yeah, this is real, man. Like, the deaths are up, either directly from it or indirectly.
Yeah, and I would definitely imagine that a lot of people, and I initially, when it first came out, I was talking about those that have prior immune compromisations or whatever,
absolutely,
or the ones that were the most affected. And then also, my wife been in the medical realm as well. People who come her way was all having to be overweight, obese African Americans that were no brainer.
That's why it's hitting us hard. Yeah.
All right, so we got another call here. So I definitely don't want this to be a doom and gloom route. I want to find out some good is going on out there. So we got to definitely switch up a little bit. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, how you doing, my friend? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Kevin from Star
Minnesota. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Kevin. What's on your mind? Give me some good news, man.
Well, the good news that I have is nurses have so much time during this pandemic to create TikTok videos and dance around and do choreographed dances. What did your guest have to say about that?
I don't know anything about that, and just because you see one video.
Anything about that, dude? That is on mainstream media and everywhere.
I don't watch mainstream media. You shouldn't be either.
On mainstream media, and they're clapping for them to do TikTok videos. How can you say that this is even acceptable, and you don't even know about that, but yet you know so much about COVID?
Hey, everybody's experience.
No. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Everybody's experience is different.
Yeah.
And
let's talk about dancing nurses.
Yeah, I've seen it as well.
You take one instance and you extrapolate it across. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know where those nurses. What state was that nurse in? Where were those nurses in?
Hey man, don't play ignorant here, man. You know.
I'm serious. Tell me where the nurses were.
Listen.
Oh, man,
I appreciate the call. I want to be respectful of my guests. Everybody, has their opinion and everything.
Tell me where the nurses were. What state were they from?
And if you let guys like this on mic, it's on you, bro.
Hey, I appreciate your call, my friend. Thank you.
Man, people can't have a sensible debate, man.
Yeah, so that's one thing where I'm open to. I mean, this is a serious matter because it goes well. Our health is included, but our monetary system. I think all of this is icing on the cake for what's underneath, and it happens to be the crumbling of our monetary system, which I believe this is a major part of. And so, I personally, I had a friend that passed on Saturday night. I got a text Saturday night saying such and such passed away, 45 years old, and it was COVID related. I don't know the details, but that hit me hard. So that's an example of me taking it real to where I'm like, this is no joke. But I don't want to just stay here all night. Let's go somewhere.
Yeah. So go ahead, let's do it.
As always,
for your viewers try to bring pitchforks. But I'll talk. Hey, I'm the wrong one. We will have that conversation.
And so I want to open the phones up again, but let's be respectful of my guests, and let's talk about the some things other than the current health situation, because everyone's entitled to their opinion based upon their experience. So let's take it somewhere else if you guys don't mind. But I'm open for whatever though. Hello, caller.
Yeah, I am too. So I'm not scared. We can talk about whatever.
How you doing? What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name's Brian, calling from Massachusetts.
Brian from Massachusetts. Give us some good news. Let me hear something, Brian.
Well, actually, I just was curious. He said he's not going to take the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how he's not going to if they won't let you go back to work, if they won't let you travel, if they won't,
Right.
How's he plan on avoiding that?
That's a great question for all of us, because I'm in the same camp as to where I personally, it's gonna be a defining moment probably in my life at that point, and so that's why I'm trusting for a little guidance and inspiration as to how to handle it myself, because I have children, and so I think we're all in the same boat. But Mr. Crypto,
I would be concerned more for my kid, if she had to take it, because that would be more of a realistic scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because these kids, they have to take certain vaccines to go to school,
right?
So I would be very concerned about that, and I would really have to have a sit down and figure out, if that were the case, what we would do. We have to do homeschooling or something. I run several businesses myself. I don't have to go, I wouldn't have to take it.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be a concern for sure. So that's a good question. I don't know, man. I would have to do homeschooling.
Yeah, and that's what my thing is, being someone to love to travel, man. And so I personally would love to be able to continue to travel, but it's one of the things where you got to have some immunization paperwork saying that you have this and that. And I saw all types of articles about them, wanting to put it into, utilizing blockchain, matter of fact, and being able to track and trace, make sure that people haven't forged their numbers,
Mm-hmm.
So that stuff is real, man, and it's coming. And so just a matter of, we'll see how it plays out, but we're all gonna be faced with that defining moment in our lives, I believe. So
that's a good question, man.
So give us some more calls, man. I want to talk about the Bitcoin halving, man, since we're here, because the price is it's moving a little bit the last couple of days. And so is that out of like anticipation for something, or out of just the herd trying to get in, expecting something, or what? What are you seeing out there?
Peter Schiff, where you at? Calling Peter Schiff. Hey man, Peter's been quite quiet lately.
But no, he's staying busy reminding us of what the Federal Reserve is doing. So he's mentioning that get your gold, get your gold, and he hasn't mentioned Bitcoin at all.
Have gold for sure. You want your precious metals. I'm just picking at Peter Schiff. He's a smart guy. Just completely wrong on the Bitcoin call. I've been watching him. I've been in Bitcoin since 2013. So I've been watching him since 2013 talk about Bitcoin is this, not that, and this and that. And it's just like the worst call in history. So, but yeah, I think the halving's coming up. I think this is a run up in anticipation for the halving. It's the buy the rumor, sell the news type of trade. And so I think we will see a pullback shortly after the halving.
Yeah.
How much? Who knows? 20%, 40%. I don't know. But I think we will see a pullback. But after that pullback is over, I think you're going to start to see a slow build in the price of Bitcoin up to 100,000 or more based on the stock to flow model, which has been accurate so far. So that's where I see we're going with Bitcoin. And so, to me, it's not an argument between, the precious metal, I know your heavy precious metal, community you have over here at RTD. It shouldn't be a either or. It should be a both. They're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
You should have both precious metals and some cryptos. And you really could have less cryptos than precious metals because they're going to outperform.
Yeah.
Precious metals by a long. They already have, but they're going to continue to outperform precious metals.
I do agree with that, and that's one of the things where as I've never really dived down the road just because everyone has their own opinions, and it's one of the things where if it I do know people who got in at the peak back in 2017, and then they were not too happy when it corrected, but yet that's just to be expected. And so it's one of the things where I tell people focus on the innovation and the technology and what it can do and where can you fit in with that. Don't look at the dollar signs. Like, I'm a firm believer because of what the Federal Reserve doing, it's going to go up. So it's just a matter of time and being able to ride those waves of uncertainty because it's built into everything. But on a metal side, more people feel comfortable with being able to hold some if the prices are slammed down because they can say at least I still have it in my hand. So I understand that as well. So
I understand that, but again, what happens is, man, these communities, altcoin or not altcoin, but alt media communities that we're all involved in. I'm in the crypto side of things, alt media. You're more on precious metal side. What happens is we start to have this echo chamber, and we start to only listen to our own kind, right? Yeah. Those that think like us. Yeah. And so we end up not seeing the whole scope and appreciating all sides of it, So you got to have some gold, some, silver for sure. But people have to realize, even with Bitcoin is not it's not a productive asset. Gold is not a productive asset. So you can have a lot of gold, you have a lot of silver, but you got to also diversify your portfolio and have productive assets as well.
I'd agree. And so I was I saw that Tether just came out with their gold version. Was the XAUT or whatever. And so Tether is still spinning out as much as they can, even though they are not too trustworthy, but they're gonna try to get involved and make some money off that.
Hey, I'll say this about Tether, man. The crypto community they got it out for Tether, but when it came out that they had 70% reserves on their funds, I had to say, hey, that's more than the Federal Reserve or any central banks at 1%.
That's true.
So hey, better than 1%. I don't know.
Oh, that's very true, man. Now, and so as always, phone lines are open. Feel free to give us a call. And so, Mr. Lance here says,
I saw that.
What's your thoughts on the USD coin?
It's a good move. Like I said, man, I'm earning 1.25% at one spot. I have a lot of USD at, and at crypto.com, I have you earn like 4.5 or I think 4 or 6% on that coin. That's per annum. So that the most you can lock it up is for 3 months at a time. So that you have to restake it every 3 months. But if you do it consecutively for 4 months, I mean, for 4 quarters, you got yourself 6% return. I mean, you can't beat that. So I like the stable coins, man. They're better than having your money in the bank.
Yeah, I would agree. And so, as time moves on, like I think, so when you were on last and Reggie was saying that he anticipates something with the banks pretty soon. And he came out just recently talking more about the banks. And then, other people I've interviewed talk about the banks, keep an eye on, the activity for the banks, because as employment continues to go up or down or whatever, and all those defaults and lack of people paying rents and mortgages, there's going to be some major issues. And who's on the hook for all that, which happen to be the banking sector. So, it's going to be interesting to see if we can get out of this year without something completely going belly up. Because
so here's some good news, though. I know you want to talk good news. That was the whole point. I think people can still take advantage of this opportunity. Start a business. I started a mass business. We're doing crazy numbers, man, and it's going crazy. Yeah, so start a business and something that you can make. Because manufacturing is going to be coming back home. Trump was always talking about it, and lo and behold, out of a pandemic, it's going to happen. It's going to do a lot of damage first, but it's coming back home. So that's good, man. Start a business, start making something, make a widget.
That's real. Oh man, what else we got out there? It says, can I get my RFID? Can I get my RFID? I'm not sure what that's all about. But I started a business building boats in my attic. Sales is going through the roof. Oh my goodness. Man, that's funny. So watch this. So we got the summer coming up, man. Just give me your thoughts on what you see happening in the crypto space, as well as in the state of Michigan and with the economy. Give us the good and the bad side of things. I'm curious to find out what you think.
Cryptos, again, I think we're going to see a pullback after the halving, but after that, man, it's to the moon. I think, just the malfeasance, the malinvestments that's going on Wall Street, what we have with the Federal Reserve and all their nonsense. They're just recklessly stealing wealth from the middle class. And so, with that being said, I think you're going to see a run up in assets that are this new asset class. Learn about it. Don't just come up with your own idea, study, do some research, and you'll find out that this is going to be an asset class that is going to make you probably a lot of money.
No, I agree. I do agree. Well, Mr. Cryptoblood, we've been over 40 minutes, man. I enjoyed it. I apologize for all the harsh calls. I don't care. I do live streams, baby. I do live call-ins all the time. Call me up off the chain, 8:00 Saturday. I'm gonna get you back on too, man. Hey, I love to be there, man. So as we wind down for everybody, I appreciate you guys chiming in and the calls or whatnot. And of course, everybody's entitled to their own opinion and viewpoints. That's
absolutely.
Being able to have the free flow, call in and voice your opinions.
Absolutely.
So Cryptoblood, go follow him on YouTube. He's on Twitter and everywhere else if you guys are new to the channel.
I just want to say one more thing. I saw some comments about the empty hospitals. Hospitals are in this area, the hospitals are kind of empty and they're actually struggling. And the reason you would think that they would be doing well, they're actually not. These hospitals, these health systems, and that's another thing I see coming, Mike, is the bankruptcy wave of health systems. They're losing money because they're not doing elective surgeries. They're not. That's where all the money is made, in elective surgeries. They're not doing any of that.
Yeah, and that little so-called bailout funds from the first round, and I think even the second round is not enough to cut it, because they're laying off majorly in hospitals that I'm familiar with. So doctors are getting laid off, nurses.
Yeah, doctors getting laid off. So, they laid off like 4,000 in the health system that my wife is at. So they're laying off because they're not making money.
Yeah. And so one of the concerns from a video I saw from one of the doctors was saying that they might be short-staffed throughout the summer, and then heading into the fall and winter time frame, the how slow it might be to get some of those people back if things do ramp up. And so this could be a part of a setup for really having a severe case of whatever in a fall winter months where there's just not enough staff, in hospitals because they fire people and the government's already overpaying people anyway to stay at home. So it might be kind of hard to get some people, or probably lesser skill. But anyway, I think it's we're being set up for something very interesting. It's coming fall and winter. So
just have your cash, people, dry powder, so you can buy all this stuff up. I think you're going to see a deflationary move in many of the asset classes. And then it's going to turn around and be very inflationary environment for us here. Yeah. So
extremely,
it's still a great opportunity.
Yeah, and it still spans. So put it to good use while you still
yeah.
Because there will come a time where it's going to be a hazard to your health.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, everybody's been great hanging out. This Cryptoblood, I appreciate you as always.
Thank you, Mike, for having me.
We got one call. If we can
let's do it. Let's do it.
And hopefully this is a more chipper one. We'll see. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, caller. This is Ray from Arizona.
Ray from Arizona. Give us some good news out in Arizona, Ray.
Oh man, well, it's nothing really changed really. Most of the stores, bars and all that is closed, but I mean things are pretty much trying to get back to normal. They're trying to reopen up next week, but this state already practices social distancing anyway, so it's like it don't really change much.
Yeah.
And now, are you still working?
If I was out there, then it would have been a little different.
Yeah.
Because I'm from Detroit, so.
From Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So have you been affected from like work, or are you still working?
Have you been impacted by it and you still working, or what? What's going on?
Self-employed, so I've been,
Okay, good. Okay.
Creating businesses, collecting gold and silver, got a little crypto, got a little business going, and just trying to create more streams of revenue,
Yeah.
And these guys, you got to right now, you got to find a way to create.
Yeah.
If you're not creating,
you definitely losing.
Consuming, and this is the worst time to be a consumer right now.
It is. It's the worst time. You're right, man. Create something, and that way you can protect yourself from an inflationary case, right? So if prices go up, you can just increase the price of whatever widget or whatever you make, right? So if you can be on that side of the equation, you're going to be on the right side every time.
Yeah, good stuff. Hey, man. Well, I appreciate your calling, man. Stay blessed out there, and hopefully see you back in the D one of these days. All right, be good.
Man, your chat room. Your chat room is on fire tonight. It's hilarious. My guy said Johnny Boy said he sells bud. That's funny.
Come on, my man.
Yeah.
It's
legal in some hell. Yeah, whatever. Hey.
Yeah, I'm sure our business is doing very well right now.
I'm sure it is.
All right, man. So we got one more call. I'm gonna take this one.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Because I typically try to keep it well with under an hour, just because ain't too many people actually watching a 4-hour replay.
They may watch this one.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, man, it's Boots on the Ground from Beaumont.
Boots on the Ground from Beaumont. What's up, my friend? Give me some good news.
Oh, man, I was just doing some social distancing with the not so distant with the in-laws over here in Pennsylvania.
Okay, all right.
Only thing I've seen that's been changing a little bit where I've been at is that I'm seeing these kiosks pop up in the restaurants, like the little Burger King or McDonald's.
Yeah,
I don't think those jobs are coming back.
Oh, yeah. A good portion of the 30 million right now will not be needed just because a benefit for the businesses going out is that some of that funds they're gonna use that to really ramp up their automation. And if you wasn't providing no true value to the company, why you cost them more than it would be to bring it back. So that's unfortunate.
And then the other thing I noticed that's been going on. I've been keeping up with the news for the African diaspora, and I'm noticing that the wheels are starting to turn over there. That they're actually the continent of Africa, the countries over there, are actually organizing to where they're wanting to start getting businesses start over there and reaching out to other people, other black people from other nations in the diaspora to come back and start a business there.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that might be the next hot spot in the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, especially Ghana. I had someone who's like starting a whole movement over there of trying to get people to come back, and they extended some citizenship and all types of stuff. So, yeah, the continent of Africa is untapped resources and potential and everything, man. So I wouldn't mind
China was trying to take it over, but that plan has been derailed, right?
Yeah,
you know, all these countries are turning against China.
Yeah, and that plays right into the hand of those that might have orchestrated all this. So that they probably wanted that. So
maybe.
But hey, Carl, I appreciate you calling, my friend. Thanks for chiming in and your thoughts.
All right, thanks.
All right, be good.
Bye-bye.
All right, man. That was another great call. I appreciate that. Mr. Cryptoblood, as always, is great to connect with you. We got to do this more often. And hopefully if we are able to get out and about and, come into close proximity one of these days, I wouldn't mind doing a live stream.
We were supposed to do an event in January, but, this stuff kind of happened. So,
by surprise. So, I never anticipate 2020 turn out this way. But yet we're just 5 months into it, man. So hopefully we can get out this year. Yeah. But anyway, everybody be blessed, be safe. It's been great tuning in. Thanks for the calls and participation in the chat. Be back at it again tomorrow. Be blessed. Make sure you go check out Cryptoblood on YouTube and Twitter and everywhere else. Other than that, be blessed, be safe. Peace.
All right, people.